Painting can be one of the simplest jobs on the list, but sometimes it can cause the biggest of headaches. Let's have a look at how to paint like a pro. Walls copper beading, especially with kids. And they're one of the most painted elements in a home, so it's important to get it just right. Now these walls are a bit older and they've just had a patch, but preparation is everything. So these walls will need a light wash and a sand to get things all smooth. It's important to scrub away any grease or grime, as this will prevent the new paint from sticking. It's also just important to give your walls a good sand, as this ensures the paint doesn't flake off and gets rid of all the lumps and bumps. I filled some holes with some top coat plaster yesterday, so it's dry enough for a light sand, a quick dust off, and you're ready to paint. But first, let's talk brushes and rollers. People, please don't scrimp on your tools. A good brush should set you back about 15 bucks. A roller about the same. I like to use a Lamb's rule. Cheap tools will do a cheap job. Buy something that lasts. Now, as this is an interior wall, we're going to use an interior low sheen acrylic. Acrylic means it's a water-based paint, and low sheen means it doesn't reflect too much light. Your doors and trim, you want to use an interior gloss or semi-gloss water-based enamel. Again, it's a water-based paint, but with a higher gloss level, it's a harder wearing paint that cleans up easily. Okay, you're going to cut your walls in first, and then you can get the roller out. Don't overfill your pot, it's just going to get messy. Get a decent amount of paint on the brush without it dripping everywhere. Start in a corner and use your brush on its side to work the paint up and down, getting closer to the edge that you're cutting to. You want to have enough paint on the wall so it doesn't look or sound scratchy, but not enough that it's running down the wall. Okay, so you want to do this until you've finished cutting in the entire wall. Then it's time to fill in the blanks. Like the brush, you'll want to get just the right amount of paint on your roller. Start away from the edge and move the roller up and down about 3 or so times, like a squish W, to spread the paint around. Then another few times to even out all the paint. Then when your roller feels fairly dry, very lightly roll top to bottom in a straight line, removing the roller from the wall at each pass. This gets an even pattern on the wall and will eliminate all those other roller lines I know you love so much. So give it half a day to dry and you're ready for the final coat. It's just a matter of repeating these 3 steps until your wall is finished. Now this is something I built yesterday and unfortunately it can't be rolled. It's pre-primed MDF, so it's just a matter of brushing 2 coats of wall paint up and down until the job is done. Try to use long straight brush strokes to get an even finish. A bit of blue painter's tape will help you keep things tidy. Try to pop the covers off any switches and power points if you can. It just helps to neaten things up. Give it half a day to dry, a light sand, and you're ready for the final coat. The outside is a little bit different. You want to use an exterior acrylic, but the sheen level is up to you. The higher gloss paints will be shinier and easier to clean, but the more matte the finish, the more modern it will look. But it could be harder to keep clean. This cladding is pretty rough, so I can slop the paint around a bit. If you're painting weatherboards or cement render, you'll have to be a bit more careful. Again, you may need to wash a wall or two, and it always pays to sand in between coats. It doesn't cost the earth to keep your home up to scratch. If you know what you're doing, you can increase the value of your home in just a few weekends and keep your castle looking grand.